Oh, that was you.
Hi, y'all. Sorry we're having some technical issues. We've never really had issues like this before, but the broadcast kept dropping. So catch everybody back up. This topic is waiting and dating. We had two ladies on who had never had sex, never had a penis in their vaginas. So Lakeisha was 38, never had sex. Amayou is 36, never had sex. And Desmond speaking from a man who has dated a woman who was not having sex. All right, so now we got you all up. Oh, because y'all keep asking, what have they done? They have had oral sex. They have not had penetration by a penis. Lakeisha, we just asked her, has she ever masturbated? And before she left, she said that she has never masturbated. She does not use toys. She's never used a toy. She that she tried it once and she was tormented. So she does not masturbate. So when she feels the urge, she calls a girlfriend, she, prays or whatever, but she has an accountability partner she calls, but she does not. So Amayou, when you are horny, when the urge arises, how do you handle that?
Okay. So I think this has kept a lot of people alive because I did handle that business on my own. So yeah, I masturbate. Yeah. Occasionally I'll use a vibrator, but I try not to do that too much because of the whole, building up your sensitivity thing. Yeah. But I'll just go old school,
Use your fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
So you do.
And yeah, I watch X-rated movies at times.
So you watch porn, sometimes. You masturbate, you just don't. So you touch yourself, but nobody else can touch you.
I'm not about to. Yeah, because if somebody's there and I'm in that moment,
it's
going
wrap.
Down.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, and I don't even want to put that experience on somebody because of the way I'm gonna feel afterwards.
Because remember, she is a Taurus.
I know, right? once you do it though, for you, once you cross that boundary, it's over.
Yeah, and I feel like I would be like how you are about, because even from like a young age, I was having thoughts about sex and erotica and stuff like that.
So do you think you have a high sex drive? I know you've never had sex, but
I think so.
You think you do?
Yeah.
Because you masturbate often?
Not often, but like if I'm using a toy, I could probably like do that all night until, so I pass out.
Okay. For those who have been initiated, we know what that means.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's so interesting. So if you were dating a woman and she told you, I masturbate, but
I wouldn't just tell
we can't, you don't tell nobody. They're going to ask the question.
I'm like, yeah, I handle that, because I got to keep my mind straight, because if,
did you know that toys were initially prescribed by doctors for women for this reason? Yeah, so it's a thing. Like, we have to it gets your mind right. It really does. So Desmond, you meet this woman, you meet Amayou. Mm-hmm. She's beautiful, she's attractive, you like her.
Wonderful.
And then she says, you know what, I've never had a penis in my vagina. I've never had a penis. I will not have oral sex, but I do masturbate. How do you respond? And I'm waiting until marriage.
I think it will probably have to be one of those type of scenarios that you brought out earlier, which is you're not doing it. That's great, and we'll get to. I'll definitely want to get to know you more, and at a particular point in time when I get to know you more, I'll definitely have to make a decision if we want to be exclusive or not. If I make a decision to be exclusive, then I have to take on the responsibility of being abstinent because that's a condition of being with you.
Right.
So, yeah, I could do that, but initially,
you're not gonna.
I don't have enough information to say, sign me up.
And that's why I don't necessarily feel like it's a first date conversation.
Right.
Like you don't even know if you like me, so why you got to worry about my vagina?
The reason why I disagree is because when men meet you, they don't think that you're a virgin. Nobody knows. Most people don't assume that you're a virgin when they meet you. And some men...
the thought that men have in their heads when they meet you.
Right. And some men have said they have felt like when they've gone out with a woman and she's told them even on the first date, they felt like if you had told me before, we wouldn't have gone on this date.
And
I wasted my money. I wasted my time. If you had told me before, I wouldn't have spent this money on you.
But if it was that important to you and your $50 or $100 or $25 or your cup of coffee, then you should have brought it up before you spent your little $5.
And I agree with you.
I would be open and honest.
I do think if it's important to you, you should vet that. You should ask that question. If it's that important to you. But I've just heard men say that they felt they felt like, you know, if she had told me, I wouldn't have gone out with her. If she had told me,
I've had that experience.
Yeah.
I think, but realistically though, if we look at every date that a man goes on, I'd say of every woman that a man takes out on a date, maybe 1 out of 4 or 1 out of 5 turn out to be an actual relationship. So you're already wasting money on dates that don't have that issue of abstinence involved in it.
Which is why they like meet and greets, but women don't like those. So a lot of men say
women don't like because it's traditional, because we've been socialized to believe that it has to be a meal. But why does it have to be a meal?
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of men say to cut down on what you just said.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to just go, we can go get some ice cream, we can sit in the park, we can just talk to get to know each other before I spend my money on you, because I don't want to waste it. I work hard for my money. I don't want to waste this little $50. It might be little to you, but I worked for it, and I don't want to spend it, and I know we ain't going nowhere. So, and I get it. So it makes sense to me. I wouldn't mind sitting at a park and talking and just getting to know you. Yeah. Going to get some ice cream or a little cup of coffee or whatever it needs to be before you invest.
And that's why I'm very open to that. I actually prefer, now that I think about it, I prefer, like, let's meet at Starbucks and have some coffee and just chat. Because if I don't even like talking to you for the 10 minutes that's going to take for me to sip my coffee, I don't need to waste your time at dinner.
Absolutely.
Let's not do that.
I think the abstinence. I think including the
is that virgin energy making you stutter?
No. I think including abstinence is a good thing, because for a lot of reasons, taking sex off the table makes the decision-making process a lot clearer. Because there are a lot of people who get in relationships, and the sole reason that they don't get out of a relationship is because sex is so good. You know, and it's sort of like one of my mentors taught me a long time ago. You've got a major problem when sex is the only thing that isn't a problem.
So I don't really agree. And this is another topic.
So you can be with somebody that you can't stand, but as long as he's dropping that D.
So yeah, this is another discussion. But I do feel like sex can be a glue, and I'm okay with sex being a glue, because for me, sex is very important. So
it is.
And so for me, because it's like so important, for me, sexual compatibility is up here. Then I can look at all these other things that you bring to the table. If you don't have this, we ain't even getting to all this other stuff.
Okay,
that's how important it is for me. Now, everybody's not like me. So for most people, they're looking at these other things that I can deal without. Yeah. Whenever I ask people to rank stuff, and they rank personality, attraction, all this stuff, one, I already know we're not going to be compatible, because sex has to be on point for me, and then I can work on these. I can work on your personality. I can work on those other. You got to be hitting it right. If you ain't hitting it right, we ain't going nowhere. This ain't gonna happen.
Nowhere.
So for me, it's so opposite. And I recognize that about myself. I will say that's why I don't necessarily agree. But I know that the average woman isn't like me.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you're totally different.
I get it.
And also just being in tune with yourself.
I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't going nowhere. I'm not one of those women who say, like she said, we can work on sex the rest of our lives.
Nah.
We ain't working on it. But you got to come out the gate. If you can't, you will never hear from me again. I'm sorry. That's how I am. So for me, it's very important. I could not do this. I admire and tip my hat to people like yourself. You know, I think that's admirable, but I think it's important to be honest, you know, about, can you handle that, you know, whatever it is. And I know I could not. So in the situation that you're in, you meet a man, and you said a little minute ago you wouldn't want somebody who just had sex last night. So if he was honest with you and said,
it's kind of,
that would be a turn off.
It would be a turn off, but I wouldn't like cut him off, but I'd just be like, okay, noted. Because guess what? Because what happens if you get a text in a month that I'm late text?
People not getting pregnant like that. Like, you have this concept.
Somebody getting pregnant right now.
You have this concept that these adults are out here. At 30-something, you don't get pregnant by mistake. At this point in our lives, you get pregnant intentionally. I mean, you ain't just willy-nilly sleeping with folks without protection, without birth control, without, you know what I'm saying?
But none of those things are 100%.
Yeah, but Amayou, most of us been in the game. Most of us been in the game for a long time.
A seatbelt ain't 100% effective, but they're a hell of a whole lot better than the alternative.
Yeah, but most of us been in the game a long time. We know how to prevent pregnancies, and it's like this thought that you think people just, everybody have sex, get pregnant. It don't work like that.
No, I know it doesn't, but it's always though a possibility.
And that's the thing that drives you for not having sex.
That's a possibility.
That's one of them. It's a lot of factors.
A possibility that you walk down the stairs and trip and break your neck.
That's wonderful.
But she still walks down the steps.
It's a possibility when you get in behind the wheel of a car.
Just like there are certain precautions you can take, correct?
That's the point we're trying to impress upon you.
And I'm not saying that people aren't taking those precautions. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, just like you said, that seatbelt's going to work 90% of the time. Yeah, for somebody it's not. Okay, so.
But if it doesn't, that's not a reason not to wear a seatbelt, though. Exceptions are never a reason.
I'm not saying that that's a reason not to. I'm just saying that for me, and what you're saying about that being a factor. That, and like I was saying earlier, just having that experience with my husband, like, and just sharing that with him and only him, I think that's going to be awesome.
Even though he's not sharing it with you and only you.
Yeah, if that's not the case. Then
but it's just a gift. You want to be a gift.
How is that a gift, though?
I don't like saying that.
You don't.
How is that a gift?
No, I just like the experience.
I don't know how to build a house, but I love the opportunity to build a house with my wife, and I don't have any kind of architectural degrees. Like, that's going to be a whole lot of fumbling around and some just jacked up shit.
He's going to be experienced. She won't be experienced.
Huh?
He's going to be experienced.
No, I'm saying as a man, if I say, I don't know how to build a house, but I want to build a house with my wife.
You like all these like metaphors, but they're not accurate. So.
I don't like. Oh, the metaphors aren't accurate. How can
I'm just saying
not be
it's
accurate?
really not as complicated as building a house. Let's be honest. Come on.
Having sex?
Yeah.
And having good sex? Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. How difficult is it to put a penis in a vagina? Somebody.
It's not just putting the penis in a vagina.
I'm just saying that's the mechanics of it.
Okay.
It's not as difficult as.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
I can say I like this or I don't like that.
I can say I can.
I'm just saying.
I can say it's not that difficult.
The mechanics of it.
Right. Because she's never done it.
Exactly.
It don't work like that. Every man with a penis just don't. It ain't good. It ain't gonna fit.
I understand that.
And it's the motion in the ocean.
It's not building a house.
It is
the
building a house.
motion in the ocean.
I must tell you that practice makes perfect.
Rhythm.
It ain't just like this. It don't work like that. And,
bruh, I'm about to just get up
most men that you meet have had 20 years of practice perfecting sex. Hopefully, perfecting it.
And understanding that there's a difference between people. Like, somebody don't like the same rhythm and motion and action that another person does. And it takes getting used to.
That's why I said
it's a dance.
That's why I said it's so important to me. When you find that right mix, that's crucial. That's important.
It's crucial.
I'm sorry, but don't think that it's just gonna be
how hard can it be to drive? All you gotta do is put your foot on the gas.
I'm just saying it's.
Somebody's gonna die.
All these metaphors are not accurate. I'll let you know.
They're not. How you gonna say they're not accurate?
I'll let you know when they go down. How about that?
Okay. Yes, we gonna hear.
All right. So, what are y'all's questions for Amayou? Derek wants to know if he can be your accountability partner whenever you feel horny.
That's a setup. That's a trap.
He wants to know if he could be your accountability partner when you're feeling horny.
It's a trap.
Can he?
Sure. Yeah.
You would tell him?
I don't have an accountability partner. I masturbate. Lakeisha's the one with the accountability partner.
Right.
I get horny. If I, feeling like it, it goes down.
Derek gonna be purling out.
So
he gonna be purling out.
So would you be comfortable telling him that you are horny or no?
Yeah, I'm pretty open about that.
You don't mind that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I probably might do it tonight. I don't.
Okay. We talking about sex a lot. You might. Yeah.
It might go down tonight.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'm feeling sexy, so.
How hard could it be?
Yeah. So so we're talking about waiting and dating. Tell me what men's reactions have been when you shared with them that you are a virgin and you've never had sex.
Sometimes they're like, oh, this is the part I love. Oh, I respect that. Everyone respects it. That's great that you respect it. I respect that you.
That's the line.
And then they disappear. So I've been ghosted on. Some guys they'll just be like, oh yeah, I mean that's cool, but I respect that, but I'm not with it. I got to test drive the car before I buy. The typical things men say.
I feel like it's the only thing men say.
The typical things that people say.
I got it.
I would definitely say that to a man. If I met a man and he was like, Shay, I'm a virgin, I'm like, I'm at your speed, bruh. You need
look, she gonna be like, how to get away with murder. She gonna be like, grab that purse
and hop up.
Right.
I'm not. You don't.
She gonna be like LeBron at that press conference.
You don't want to come over here. You need to go over here to the kiddie park and play over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably would say the same.
And I'm cool with that because obviously that person's not for me. Just like
of
that
course
person would
not.
be a match
I
for
believe
you.
There's a lid for every pot. You know that, and I believe that you will have the right person for you. No, because I want you to. I'm joking, but I want you to know that I do believe you can have. You're gonna have the right man for you who will wait.
Definitely.
Of course. But men typically are just like.
They like. Nah,
but can I tell you from the man side, like when I was abstinent, when I would tell that to women were not as respectful.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not.
Women are like, oh, that's a challenge.
I'm gonna break you down. I'm gonna make
right.
you, mm-hmm.
Or and this doesn't make like a lot of people don't realize this, but women have a more fragile ego than men do in relationships like that. Because it's like nobody tells me no. Like I can't tell how many times I got in that situation. It's like nobody tells me no. I'm like, whoa, like hold on now.
It's not a personal no. I tell everybody no.
Like right.
Right.
But even if you say I tell everybody no, then that still makes her mad because you're telling me, you're treating me like everybody else, and I'm not like everybody else.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, you say, they tell you, I respect that, and then they just don't, you don't hear from them again.
Yeah, I got ghosted on. But most people are pretty upfront with it. Okay. And some people, they don't even get to that point because I don't tell them that, because I'm just not even that into them. So they don't.
Right, because you vet them out before you.
We have a caller. Hey, caller, welcome to Conversations with Cupid.
What's good? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm alright. Check this out. Question
What's your name? What's your
Amayou.
name?
Alright, boom.
I tuned in kind of late.
What's your name?
I was gonna remain anonymous.
You want to remain anonymous?
Hi,
okay.
Mr. Anonymous. How you doing?
Mr. Anonymous.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Anonymous, go for it.
Alright. I tuned in kind of late, but the question was gonna be for Amayou and the other girl, Lakeisha, but I don't know if she showed up. I just tuned in. I got off work a little late.
Okay.
But question is, are you willing to remain a virgin if you don't find that person that you're looking to marry?
So far, yes, but like I said, I also reserve the right to change my mind. So if time passes and
that's obvious. Everyone has the right to change their mind. We know that. But I'm just saying, how long are you willing to go?
I don't
without
know.
changing your mind? Go on.
If you look up and you're 50 and you haven't gotten married yet.
Okay, first I rebuke that. Second of all,
I'm just asking a question.
I know.
Because I saw a lady. It was a lady on Wendy Williams, and she was 54.
Yeah, I saw that.
And she had never had. She was a 54-year-old virgin. And so, is it possible that you could be this woman?
That's a possibility, only because I have been like, oh, I don't want to be a 30-year-old virgin,
and
I don't want to be a 35-year-old virgin,
and you are.
And I just turned 36 2 months ago, so
it's very possible.
It's possible.
But I
don't think God would want all of this to go to waste. I'm just saying. I mean,
but is God ain't telling?
Okay, what do you consider a waste?
Move on.
I'm just kidding.
Why is it on God? Why don't you make the choice for yourself? Why are you putting God in the equation?
Okay, hold on. We don't want to go down the religious road because
that was the joke.
It's very important to her. Like she really wants to wait. But her answer to your question is yes. She's willing to wait. For right now, she's willing to wait.
What's today?
The 7th.
June 7th, 2018.
You're willing.
I'm
okay.
willing to wait.
All right, Mr. Anonymous, did you have another question? Lakeisha also said the same thing. She said that she's also willing to wait.
Okay, that's cool. I was just kind of tuning in.
Thank you so much.
He's about to have them DMs.
All right.
You don't even need to
what about people who say you're going to be a cat lady? This is Jeremy's question.
Oh, I don't like cats, so that's definitely
You'll never be a cat lady.
She's gonna be flying, traveling all over the place.
Excuse me. I mean that's possible. I mean, plus I'm an awesome aunt. Okay, so I'm already doing that. That's.
Would you consider adopting a kid?
I would. I still would like to be married though. And I know that, that's not necessarily a big thing for everybody, but I would prefer to have like a whole.
So to your point, so then, and we're not saying this is going to happen, but if you wait and you're still a virgin and you're past childbearing years, I know you want to have a child, I know you want to get married now, but if for whatever reason you look up and you're 50 and you never got married and you finally meet the guy and he's like, all right, let's do it. You would adopt.
Yeah, if at that point, if we want to have kids, but we retire, so that might not be happening. We might just be, having sex all around the world together.
And you'd be okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess.
Do you feel like there's a reward for you for waiting?
At one point, I probably felt that way when it was, like I said, when it was more of a religious reason. But for me, it's just just what I want to do. It's just that experience that I want to have with that person. So.
Okay. Lakeisha says, I want to be Hulk smashed by 50.
Girl, me too.
Did she not say Hulk?
She said, I want to be Hulk smashed by 50. That's what she said. Lakeisha's 38, for those of you who missed her when she was on. She's and she'll be 39 in a couple months. And she was just saying, you know, it was not her intention to be a virgin this long. She thought she would have been married by 25, but she just looked up, and you said the same thing. Thought you would have been married 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and you look up and it just hasn't happened yet, which is the case for a lot of people. Right. But you are willing to hold out as of right now till marriage. I think it's admirable. I really do. I don't have that self-control, but I think it's admirable.
I think it'd be harder if I wasn't, self-pleasuring. I think it'd be a lot harder, but
Lakeisha doesn't self-pleasure. She doesn't masturbate.
So I'm thinking her journey's harder than mine.
Oh, absolutely. But I think the other part about it too is it's harder if you've never been there. You know what I mean? Like, because you've never had sex, you don't have an appetite for it. Like, if I've never had sushi, I don't never have a craving for sushi.
But she be craving it and pleasuring herself.
It's a little different when you're talking about masturbation.
It's different? You think it's different?
Absolutely.
How is it different?
Oh, it's a whole different world between masturbating and having actual sex, intimate sex.
But the craving for it, I'm saying.
No, you're talking about holding a person, kissing that person, foreplay, you know, just...
Okay, let me ask you, because I don't get it.
That's a whole different world.
When you are horny, what are you craving exactly?
Okay, so there's different levels. So there's just like, I just want to feel good. Let's just call it what I just want to do something that's going to feel good. I'm going to have an orgasm, and that's going to be that. But there are times when I'm just like, dang, I really, wish I had somebody. But that's less about the sex and more about the intimacy.
Okay. Yeah. So, but when you are horny, it is sex.
Yeah.
Are you craving, to Desmond's point, are you craving the touching, the kissing? You're craving the penetration. You're craving all of that, or
that
you just
would be
craving?
Nice, but
you
if
just
I
want to
get
off.
A little orgasm or 2 or 5,
so it's different.
Then I'm good.
Yeah, she's just craving the orgasm.
Because
that is
the only frame of reference is the orgasm.
Okay, I just wanted to understand.
And also because I'm sorry for tapping that. Also, we got 10 minutes.
Okay.
Also, what were we talking about earlier? Oh, about the whole having oral sex or whatever, and why I stopped that, because that was just too much. Because after that I want the So
it's hard if he going down right. If he doing it right, it's hard for you not to say I'm ready for the
let's
D.
do that.
It's hard. I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you could. We're gonna stop right there.
I don't know. I don't know.
That was hard. I'm sure.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, no
so
more
then you said that was too close to comfort for you, so you stopped. And you have not had oral sex in 5 years.
Yeah.
All right. So we have another question. Lakeisha's responding. And Lakeisha's also the person who's a virgin. She says, we have an appetite. She says, when you are horny, you are craving compassion, love, and intimacy. Well, you are. Amayou's craving the orgasm. Derek says, Shay, since Amayou is waiting for marriage for sex, does that tailor her expectations of how good the sex will be, considering she has no frame of reference?
I don't think so. Because honestly, I'm not really having any expectations for our first time.
Because you really don't know what
I hear it's not going to be that great anyway.
Yeah.
But see,
I don't even remember what that was. I have no idea. I can't even tell you nothing. I don't know.
I look forward to all of that. So.
Yeah, so I think that your husband will probably, whoever this person is, he's going to be gentle. He's going to be patient. He's going to feel, I think he's going to feel honored to have this experience with you and nobody else has had it. And you will have oral sex and you'll climax and you're going to be happy. And whether he does the rest or not, you're going to be good because he has done that. I think you're going to be fine. You won't have to worry. Because anybody who was going to wait and marry somebody who's a virgin, that's a different mindset.
Yeah.
I think. Jack?
I just came in late, so I just
want to get in the camera?
I just wanted to catch up on a couple of things. No, so...
we'll drop it down.
You waiting on marriage? Exactly.
Yeah, I'm waiting until I get married to have sex.
So y'all can be dating for years.
I'm not dating for no years. Oh, sorry.
You're not?
Yeah, I don't...
But you make him wait.
At this age, I don't feel like... And knowing myself and knowing him and him knowing himself, it's not going to take no 5 years for me to know that you're the one. Come on now.
I would ask you once you're married, and what if sex not good.
And that's usually what people say. So, like I said,
but you wouldn't know it's good or bad though. So it's gonna,
usually
be good.
Usually it's good if y'all both orgasm. Usually that's a pretty good indicator.
How you know? Yeah. Okay.
Is yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So my expectations for my first time, I'd like to say I don't really have any expectations, and I don't expect it's going to be that great. But I do expect us to work together, and for me to discover every part of his body that just makes his toes curl, and for him to do the same to me. And we got a whole long time to figure all that out. But we probably going to do it like that first.
I'm good away from this conversation. I just want to know was you waiting on marriage?
Yes.
Exactly. So you got to be married first.
And I also
even
want,
if you're 50.
Yeah.
Even if she's 50. I also want to set the expectation that most women do not orgasm during sex. So
60%.
So
get it through oral,
as long as you get it through oral, so you want to make sure that he knows how to do that. And so I would just put that in your mind. All right, hey caller, welcome to Conversations with Cupid.
Hi, Shay. It's LaToya again. I just wanted to tell Amaya I was married. The sex wasn't good. I could go 6 months to a year without it. I didn't orgasm when I was married, so
hold on,
be mindful
LaToya.
of that.
Hold on, LaToya. You got to tell us again. So wait a minute. You said you were married and the sex was not good.
The sex was, first of all, he wasn't attractive to me, so I didn't really push sex, and the sex wasn't good, so I really didn't want it. So that's why I was able to just go without. But I never had an orgasm when I was married.
When you said you were able to go without, are you saying you went without while married?
Yeah, I can go good without married. Yeah.
So y'all were married and you were not having sex with him?
Yep. I've shared that on the page. Like, we've gone 6 months, if not close to a year, without sex because I wasn't physically attracted to him. So when he pissed me off, it just disgusted me even more. So it was easy for me to not be attracted to him and not have sex. And then the sex wasn't good anyway, so it's like double no.
Did y'all try to work on sex? Like, did y'all actually try to improve it?
I gotta be attracted.
I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it. I mean, we had sex. I have 2 kids, so
I mean, but
did
did y'all try to improve the sexual experience? Like, did you give him feedback and say, "Hey, I don't like this," or "I like that," or
it was different. When I was married, I didn't really know I should be active or be speaking up for what I want. Except for I like back shots, so that's the only thing I would. Whenever he was getting his, I'd make sure he didn't come before I got mine, which was back shots.
You mean doing it from the back, doggy style? Is that what you mean?
That's my favorite, yes.
Okay.
So that's the only time I felt I really got anything was back shots. So he could do what he want to do. If I want him to come quick, I squeeze his dick and he just come quick. But your frame of mind is orgasm, and so if you're having sex with someone and you're used to orgasms, you may have an issue if you don't get it from him. You may have to go in the bathroom and give it to yourself again, because I didn't have any when I was married. So that's my frame of mind.
This is not gonna work.
That's such an uplifting end to the segment.
Yeah, just so you know, it doesn't always work that way when you get married. And listen, but the truth is, and I don't wish this on you, and I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but the truth is, this is a reality for a lot of people. So this whole thing of, when I get married, it's gonna be this glorious thing. It's and
if you
know the 2 main causes
if you're sexually compatible or not.
That's what makes it worse. And the 2 main causes of divorce: finances and sex. Yeah. So sometimes it's obviously prevalent. It's not like, that's just a one-off. I just want to set the expectation that, because that's not what we always hear. We always think it's going to be so glorious when you get married, but some people don't know what they're doing, and I don't think that you can always make it better if it don't fit. If he don't have the stamina, if he can't get it up, and there's so many things you got to think about. If you don't get wet enough, I mean, it's just so many things you got to think about that if it don't work, it just ain't gonna work.
Or if he's not meeting the emotional needs to where you want to be intimate with him.
And where you want him to touch you. You talked about touch, but if you don't want him to touch you, I don't know. I just don't want you to go into this with this fairy tale that once I walk down the aisle, it's just gonna be magic and rainbows. It does not always work like that. That's a great point. Thank you, LaToya.
You're welcome. And the only difference is now that she's sexually aware of what she likes, and now that I'm aware of what I like, when I start having sex again, I'll tell you what I want and how you should do it. So you speak up.
Absolutely.
But you have to be careful of your mind, because it really is like building a house, and it really is speaking up to say, I want it this way or whatever. So, okay.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. Knowing yourself. So it's good. I feel like it's good that you do explore yourself, because you will know what you like, what you don't like. All right. So anyway, We had two ladies on. Thank you, ladies. We had Amayou and Lakeisha. They both shared about being virgins, lifelong virgins, 36 and 38, and their goal is to wait until marriage. And so we were talking to them about what is it like to date, and how do you share that you were a virgin, and you know, what does it mean? And Desmond brought up some great points about expectations, about, you know, what sex is really like, and I thought that was valuable. And also understanding what you're craving. And to LaToya's point, you don't always get that you're craving in sex. I can tell you that that's true. But the good thing is you do know your body. You do know how to make yourself come. So if you did have sex and he didn't hit it right, pull out your little toy and go there.
Or you can have a conversation.
You can have a conversation, but the penis don't hit the clit. If she likes clitoral stimulation, he gonna have to go down.
Oh, he gonna make it happen. Yeah,
he gotta make that happen, because yeah. So anyway, I just want to share, and I think everybody's on the same page with that. Any final words? We gotta wrap up.
No. So everyone knows I don't put out now. So hopefully the DMs don't stop.
Well, I think that the right man is gonna want you even more. I think the right man. I think because there's a man who. Remember, as you talked about, women are being taught this in church. There's a man who's also being taught this in church, and he's being taught that his wife is pure and she's, you know, saving herself for him, and he's looking at you like that's wife material. You know what I mean? And I think that's the kind of man that I think personally would be attracted to that. You know, the average man is not gonna want a virgin. We know that, but there is a man who's been conditioned and groomed to think that's the prize. That's what I want. So he's looking at you like, ain't nobody ever touched her. I want her. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and so, you know, we talked about there's a lid for every pot. You can definitely have that. You can have your heart's desire. I believe that. For you and Lakeisha, for everybody. Mm-hmm. Everybody can have what they want. Desmond, your final thoughts?
Sex is a part of every healthy relationship. Some people need it and to evaluate a healthy relationship. Some people don't. And it's important for you to understand what works for you and only you. So you don't have to have guidelines that match society's expectations of relationships.
Absolutely.
Know what works for you.
Absolutely. And whatever it is that you want. You want a lot of sex, you want a little sex, you want whatever it is you want, you can attract that. All right, thank you guys. We'll be back next week. See y'all next week. Smooches.
Thank you.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Are you ready for love? Middle Class Match has thousands of professional singles of color waiting to meet you. For only $10 a month, you can find your perfect match on middleclassmatch.com. That's middleclassmatch.com.